Right, so it is Friday the 11th of October 2024, another journal, NAS and ES journal. I wanted to start today on a bit of a different one, on my updated rules. So a lot of painful losses I've taken this week has taught me a lot of stuff. So, these losses aren't anything, ignored. I've taken a lot of account into these losses, and there's two things, and I'm self-accountable for all of it. I've over-risked a lot, over-traded a lot, for one. And for two, I've traded in time zones that I should not be trading due to unpredictable volatility and manipulation of price. So let's get into it. So firstly, I want to start on what I've updated on the time of trading. So I used to trade, I have taken pre-market trades before and it has gone my direction. And I have taken trades at New York Open and it has gone in my direction. But what I've learned is, unless you get on the right end of it, between 9:30 to 10 a.m, most of the time it's 9:30 to 9:45, but I say 9:30 to 10 a.m, I've experienced a manipulation of liquidity before price goes into the initial direction that I predicted. So for example, say if I'm longing, it's happened a few times where I've longed market open, like yesterday and last week. Yesterday and last week it happened. I think it's happened quite a few more times, but yeah, I've traded so much now I can't. Even the hypothetical trade it's happened where, we get a market structure shift to the upside from like a higher time frame fair value gap, and it's like an A+ setup. But I've learned that when it's New York Open, price likes to manipulate, sweeping all relevant internal liquidity on the sell side before going up. So like yesterday and last week, I took a trade where we had a market structure shift at New York Open and then or pre-New York, and I went on the retracement of that market structure shift and I ended up getting stopped out, manipulated, and then price goes into my direction because clearly I'm the liquidity that market makers are hunting for. And when you see that, and if I waited till 9:45, I'd see that cool. We've got the manipulation down, sweeping all sell side internal liquidity, and then the market structure shift after the manipulation. That is more probable. If you get a market structure shift after a manipulation of internal price, you've got a higher chance in having a higher probable trade. So I'm not going to be trading any time before 9:45, so bare minimum 9:45 and onwards. No matter the A+ setup I see, I'm never going to do it, and I'm never trading pre-market again ever. So I've got that out of the way. Now I'm talking about risk. So I have over-risked big time, and the reason why I've over-risked is because I'm trading normal contracts. It's partially due to lack of knowledge on how to trade micros and all that kind of stuff. I've just found out. So I did say yesterday that I won't be taking any more trades for the rest of the week, but I will be taking a trade today if the opportunity presents itself, due to the fact that now I can control my risk much better. For example, if I want to take a trade, most of the time I'll be taking a trade with one contract, and that means that the only thing I can do to reduce my risk is reduce my stop loss. And then what that means is if I reduce my stop loss, I'll put it in a place where really I don't want to put it, but I have to reduce risk. Now I can take partials. What I would have taken a trade with one contract, now on micros I can take 10 micro contracts, and then I can actually take really good partials from there. And how I did before my hypothetical trading, I could take like 25% off if I wanted to, and also that also means that I can have wider stop losses, so I don't have to have really tight stop losses. Remember last week where I closed the trade really early because it was close to hit my stop loss and went my direction. If I had a wider stop loss, it wouldn't have affected me emotionally. So we had that as well. But yeah, so what that means is, so still 1% risk per trade. One win means end of trading day. One loss of 1%, end of trading day. If I hit break even, so if a trade hits break even and another opportunity presents itself, then that's the only exception, or I'll go into that in a minute. So that's the only exception that I could take another trade. If I'm at break even, another opportunity presents itself, A+ setup, I'll take it. Also, say if I take partials, reduce my stop loss, and I get stopped out at 0.5% rather than 1% in that trade. That means I've now got a buffer of 0.5%, of parameters of 0.5% that I can trade on. Oh, my screen's just turned off. So that means, say if I lose 0.5% of the trade and no opportunity presents itself, I'll risk 0.5%. Obviously, if no other opportunity presents itself, then that means, you know, I'll just lose 0.5% of the day. I'm not going to force another trade. So this basically means I cannot exceed 1% loss in a day. So I've been doing a trading journal. So I also been doing it on YouTube, but I haven't actually done it on like written down graph, and I've just been doing that. So it's not this one. Which one is it? That one. Ignore the GBP USD. This is from a long time ago. But if I go all the way down, I've been writing down. This is all my trades. I've been doing this morning. I should have done this from the start. So there's another thing I've messed up on. I should have done this from the start to do all this, but I didn't. Because in my head I thought if I'm doing a video journal, it should be alright. But because I haven't got all the data in one spot, and it's all scattered on videos, it's harder to look at it. But this is really helped me this morning. Like I felt like a realization this morning. A lot of my losses is due to being manipulated. So I've also got, is this an A+ setup? No, and it's one of the reasons why I'm losing as well. So things like here was visually a great setup. Swept a strong amount of sell-side liquidity, blah, 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 blah. Buy into before 9:45. So I still won this trade, but I think I got lucky. Then this trade here, we lost 1.22% over risk. Horrible setup. This is because after entering the weekly fair value gap, I wanted to see a market structure shift, which although price broke above the previous high on the 1 and 2 minute, it only wicked it, meaning it was a liquidity sweep. Also, that liquidity sweep was a rejection off of a bearish 5 minute fair value gap. I was not patient for the candle closure to see price's intentions. So when I look at this, it reminds me to do the right thing. This one here, I lost 1%. That's alright. I did the correct risk in the trade. In this trade, I tried to target equilibrium with the 15-minute range. Remember what I spoke about? I don't trade retracements of lower time frames anymore. On a downward retracement, I've now learned trading retracements against. Let me just edit that. Against the trend. I've now learned that trading retracements against. Well, it hasn't. There you go. Against the trend should be only done on the 1 hour plus time frames, because this is the more optimal to win, basing that high time frame price usually likes to trace through equilibrium or inefficiencies. My spelling is horrible clearly because I like to type fast. And things like 15-minute legs are not optimal to show retracements on. The execution itself was not bad, but this is not an A+ setup also due to this. So yeah, so now I'm teaching myself. Everything in this setup was A+. This is the next trade. Lost 1.05%. Fine, it's a 0.05%, but still over risk technically. And this is because of the contracts. I was putting my stop loss a bit wider, and that means I'm risking more. But yeah, everything in this setup was A+, but one thing, entering before 9:45. I've noticed that usually the first 15 minutes, I usually say 30 minutes, but I've noticed it more on the 15 minutes, first 15 minutes of New York Open, that there is some sort of manipulation. Why is the O gone missing? That's strange. Oh, it's there. I've noticed that there's some sort of manipulation of liquidity before going to its intended direction. When I entered, price manipulated down, taking all internal relevant sell-side liquidity before going up, which is why I was stopped out, and then price goes straight to take profit. Now, here, I lost 0.87%. I remember this trade. This is the exact trade. I mean, I'm obviously talking to myself in this journal, but whoever does actually watch this, remember this trade I lost, where I stopped myself out. I wasn't stopped out here like by the stop loss. I stopped myself out manually, and then I was a tick under the stop loss, and it didn't hit my stop loss as I stopped out and went to take profit straight away. That was a very frustrating day. So here, this is the trade. This trade was an A+ setup and played out beautifully. But what mistake I did make? Well, firstly, I wasn't trading micros due to, at the point, not knowing how to. So I had a very tight stop loss. But secondly, price was a tick away from my stop loss, but did not hit and went straight to take profit. So essentially, I closed early, and in exchange, it did not hit my stop loss area, and it hit my take profit 15 minutes later. So this trade was my psychology that let me down, not the setup. So this was an A+ setup. Then I made 2%. on a trade, which was Monday, if I'm not mistaken. This trade is technically an A plus setup based on my setup rules and conferences. As it was a continuation on the 1 hour, it made an A plus, but the 15-minute retracement into the 15-minute leg made it more conferences to see price going higher. Although I targeted internal buy-side liquidity, price did heavily reject. Let's get that in there. After the take profit was hit, so I am grateful to exit when I did. Let's get that in there. Cool. So that's what I've done so far on my journal. So I'm going to update it all done by today, and then show everyone. Well, show myself on this, but whoever's watching this, I don't know. Also, I've just added in obviously the trade duration. This is really important as well, so I'm going to put that in because it shows really if I have an average. Let's say every winning trade is an average of 6 to 10 minutes or 6 to 20 minutes. Say if I'm going to trade after 30 minutes and it's not going my direction, a lot of suggestions I've seen is to close the trade because it's more likely not going to go to a direction. But yeah, so that is a lot of changes are made. So these painful losses are teaching me stuff. You know, it is teaching me. I've only lost. What have I lost this week? Let's quickly calculate it. So that one. I think it's 1 point something percent. I think I lost this week. Let me quickly check. 2%. NAS 2%. Oh, these are all the wrong ones. Let's go to YouTube. Okay, let's quickly calculate it. 2 minus 0.76 minus 1.05 minus 1.1. Hang on a second, I'm confusing myself. Minus 1.05 minus 0.76. So I've only lost 0.91% this week, and I think it's best if I do another rule of let's put this as favourites per week. The maximum loss I will take is 3%. This means that if any point of the week I exceed the max loss of 3%, I do not trade for the rest of the week. But this means that if I trade 1% a day, that means if I trade all the way into Wednesday and I've lost all trades on 1%, that means I'm only missing 2 trading days, which can make a big difference, but still. So, you know, that's how I see it. I'm going to do that as well. So I haven't actually lost 3% this week. I'm down 0.91%. But what I'm also very happy about, I'm going to get into the analysis in a minute, but what I'm also happy about is now I've finally learned, after being stupid, how to trade micros. Let's go to replay trading. Just do yesterday. I'm not even going to find a good setup. I'm just going to do it at like a random area of buying. Okay, let's say I enter here. Let's go back. Obviously, I'd never actually make an entry here, but it's just an example. Right. So I wanted to, I could do this amount of, like this wide of a stop loss if I really wanted to. Take profit all the way up here. I don't really like to have this much of a wide stop loss. I prefer maybe about 100, but if not, I'll do the whole stop loss. I'll do the whole low. So yeah, let's say 10 contracts is 1%. on this amount of risk on the stop loss. So that, that's not right. Let's just say here then. Cool. 500, that'd be there. Okay. Serve onto the target data highs. I could have a take profit here. I'm actually going to make a take profit line actually. Okay, there's change color. Oh, that's text, that's why. What kind of green? I want to differentiate it. I'll just do blue as a take profit line. Ooh. I'll get rid of that one. Okay. Cool. So say if I wanted to I'm can I put, maybe I can't do it on here, but I'm about to get stopped out anyway. Okay, cool. So say if I'm there, then I can take, let's say 2 off. Cool. The rest of the take profit can run. So that means I've secured $157. I can now, where my stop loss is at fully is $400. If I wanted to, I could put my stop loss to 0.5%, which is here, which seems appropriate for the time. Cool, it goes higher. Stop loss to break even. Got this possible order block here as a take profit area. Maybe take off another 2. $400 secured. And then take profit. Right, that wasn't me, by the way, that was my seat. Just made that clear. Anyways, so yeah, now I can actually take partials rather than, you know, having to be patient and just reducing my stop loss and then reducing my stop loss to a crappy place just so I don't lose that much money. So yeah, and from that trade, wherever it was into that, it was 1 to 4, and I made near on 3% from it, from taking partials. So, you know, it is pretty good. So yeah, I'm happy that I've learned how to do that now. It's quite idiotic that I didn't try to learn before. It's fine, we move anyway. So, into the analysis. So, I've learned that on Friday is usually like a counter trades, counter trend kind of day. So as we can see here, we have swept a lot of liquidity to the upside. So yeah, on the daily, so yesterday we set the previous daily highs. Now we're going to retrace down. Well, it looks like here at the moment anyway, pre-market. What we could see, also we don't actually know what happens, but what we could see is these 4 hours lows here. 4 hour lows, wherever it is, just liquidity. Yeah, so this liquidity here on the 4 hour, we can see that. Possibly price could target this liquidity down here into these inefficiencies. But before entering, I want a kind of like a strong drawn liquidity swept and possibly a manipulation before going down. So maybe even something like daily previous highs swept, which is now here. or even like London or Asia high swept and then go down. That's what I'd like to see possibly. But I do think today is possibly going to be a day where a lot of sell-side liquidity is going to be taken. Some fair value gaps maybe down here. That could be taken as well on the 4 hour. You know, we've got that 4 hour fair value gap and 1 hour. So that's pretty good. And then on the daily, we can look at the daily range. It would be either here to here or here to here, which is all in a very similar place anyway. Sorry, but I would probably do it from here based on the structure. So yeah, that is my anticipation of today. I think maybe a lot of sell side PD arrays might be taken. But yeah, we'll see. We've also got news at 1:30. So obviously Canadian dollar doesn't mean anything for us. So today we've got core PPI and just normal PPI. We've also got some amber news that can cause some volatility today as well. So it does look pretty good. So yeah, I'm not going to trade any time before 9:45. I'm going to keep repeating that, so I tell myself and remind myself. So yeah, that's that, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. Right, it's about 6 minutes till New York Open. So we did get some results on the news, obviously. I will say, for some reason, I know why. Approaching New York Open, I'm feeling much more relaxed than usual, and I think that's because of the fact that I'm waiting till 9:45. Core CPI, just refreshed the page. It came out bearish. So if we look here, where is it? No, it's Thursday. Friday. Cool. So Canadian dollar has actually come out bullish. A lot of good positive results, but the USD PPI core PPI came out as forecasted, but just PPI, original PPI came out 0.1% lower than forecasted and 0.2% than previous. So and obviously on core PPI came out 0.1% than less than previous as well. So it's pretty bearish news there. I mean, didn't make quite a major effect on the markets compared to yesterday's news. Obviously, it's different types of news. But I've been doing some research on, I think it's core sentiment, if I'm correct. Yeah, apparently this can cause some volatility, like quite a lot of volatility. But it's all about learning. But yeah, so it's 5 minutes till New York Open. I'm not doing anything yet until 9:45, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. So interestingly, we've made quite a weird change. NAS Open had a big push down, a clear manipulation down, or it might be manipulation, or might just be continuing down. Who knows? ES is pushing up. Could see a manipulation. This could be a manipulation ES here. But yeah, this is data highs actually, so I'm going to mark that out as data highs. But yeah, they're both moving in different directions. We've got a big push down NAS from equity open. Be nice to see maybe a sweep of daily previous lows. So yeah, that is a few things I've noticed. Obviously, no trade yet. Just observing data. But yeah, it's interesting. It's nice to see it as well. Here's midnight opening price. So usually in a bullish market, Friday is the day it usually goes down. But we are quite far below midnight opening price in a bullish market. So that's something to just, think about. But yeah, I'll be back soon. Alright, so obviously it's more than 15 minutes into New York Open. Pretty much at the start, obviously, I was having this move down on NAS and pretty much just continued it. Now we're moving up. After sweeping London lows, we've actually entered a 2 or 3 minute order block. It's pushing it up, but obviously I don't think that will hold. This might be the manipulation move, I reckon, but we've got news at 10, so it says sentiment. So I'm not going to trade until news comes out, just, you know, because I have been warned about it. So I will just wait and see what happens. Prelim consumer sentiment is forecasted to be 70.9, which is more than before. Recently it's been quite positive. Yeah, previously it was 70.9. It was forecasted to be 70. Okay. And here, so we don't actually have a forecast here, so we don't know. But if it's less than previous, then yeah. So yeah, we will see what happens. Yes, and NAS, like I said earlier, is moving in different directions. I just want to note out, we swept data highs, which is a bunch of equal highs, 3 equal highs there. Swept that, we're now above a minute opening price. Then we created 2 more equal highs at Asia highs, like so triple equal highs, and then we've just swept it. It is looking like there's going to be a good setup arising. ES is looking more optimal than NAS for me personally, but that doesn't mean that I will be trading ES primarily. Like, you know what I mean? Things can change. Got 8 minutes till news. 5 minute and 15 minute is still respecting this fair value gap. So yeah, and we've wicked above this high, which, you know, looks like a liquidity sweep, and now we're pushing right down. Looks like we're causing a market shut to shift in the 1 minute. Which, if we do get like a really nice retracement up into here and then down, it could be quite a nice trade really, but it's just an idea. But then it wouldn't be a 2 minute market shut shift either, nor 3 minute, just a 1 minute. So just got to be careful on that really. ES is at the moment, only at the moment, is failing to close above these highs. Do you see how I've said this so many times in my journals and videos, where the candle closes right on the line but doesn't close above it, but it wicks above it? Usually means that it just is. It sometimes means that liquidity is swept and that it doesn't. You know, it's failing to close above, showing there's some bearish volume coming into the market. It doesn't always mean that, but you know, it can show a good sign that that might happen. So yeah, we'll see in 3 seconds. Right, it was going to close above it then, clearly. Wow, what is happening? Look on NASDAQ. Let's see if the 5 minute closes above it. So yeah, we've got about 5 minutes till news, and then once that's done, I will be looking for a proper entry, so we will see what happens. Yeah, see you then. Wow, okay, so clearly this amber fold news has caused more harm to the currency than actual the red fold news did. So see this big push down. ES has got a similar one, but I don't think it's as big as NAS, but clearly you've got quite bullish news. Let's just double check that. Okay, let's have a look. Friday. Yeah, so consumer sentiment come out bearish, so less. Actual came out more than previous, so yeah, it's a bearish day, which aligns with what I'm looking for. Okay, that's good. That is actually very good. I'm happy to see that. Cool. Right, so I think it's fair to say that's a lot of buy-side liquidity above midnight opening price. NAS, I think clearly, see here, it's reacted off of this breaker block, perfectly aligned with news. So yeah, on the 1 minute, yeah, I feel that it's now time to start going down, personally. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Now we're getting a big push up. Let me just quickly check on the news again. Obviously, then we got bullish news on the inflation expectations, actual greater than forecast of the currency, but it's actually greater than previous. That's bullish, so that's probably why we got that big push up and then that manipulation. Let's have a quick look on ES. Okay, right. So on ES, it is very closely approached daily previous highs, but has not swept it yet. I'd love to see a sweep of that. That's what I would personally love. We got clearly a manipulation here, which is nice. It's a looks almost like an AMD actually. But yeah, that's pretty good. I'd like to see a push up to daily previous highs personally first. NAS, we've swept these highs here, these internal highs, which is equal highs. On the 1 minute anyway. And the 2 minute. And the 3 minute. So yeah, swept equal highs there. Into the 15 minute order block. So that does align pretty well. So yeah, it is actually quite nice. It's finally nice to be back in the zone of just wait and be patient, like I did back in when I was doing hypothetical trades. I was very patient and I was just waiting. I need to get back to that like I am today, because I feel much more clear-headed, not stressed about finding an entry. I'll just let the entry come to me, and that's how you should do it. But yes, we swept a lot of internal buy-side liquidity, which is good. So we'll just see what happens from here. But I would have preferred to see ES sweep the daily previous high. That would be nice, but we haven't got that yet. But I think if I'm looking for shorts, ES is looking better in my opinion. Just based on the fact that how high price has already gone to manipulate buy-side liquidity, and all the bearish news we've just received, and the all the bearish economic data. So yeah, pretty interesting data to look at, and yeah, I'll be back. Lovely. So NAS has swept data highs. ES has swept data highs, day previous highs, and about to sweep. If I'm not mistaken, is it the weekly? No, it's not weekly, but it's the some daily candles, some 4-hour highs, some 4-hour. Yep, cool. We just swept that. NAS, we are pushing up as well. This is all right to see. Data highs is up here. Got some of that. Where is it? Data highs. Cool. As we see on ES, we have on the 1 minute, obviously it doesn't mean too much yet, but we've closed below the 4-hour high. 15 minute, we've got this buy side here that could be raided. So for ES, we're now at all-time highs again. There's literally nothing on the left that will help. So yeah, cool, interesting. But yeah, it's just nice to sit here passively and just be patient to wait for something interesting to happen. That's what I like, and I don't know why I was so aggressive this week, but just sitting here waiting for something to happen is quite nice. But yeah, I'll be back again. Alright, stop loss hit. Clearly I know I made the mistake. What I thought was a reversal, sweeping these, obviously this is NAS, I traded an ES, let me quickly just say something about NAS. What I thought was a reversal down, clearly was just a continuation, so into equilibrium, then a continuation up, because we hit equilibrium of the 15-minute range, straight away market structure shift, straight up. So yeah, that is that really. Let's put that there. Wouldn't have found an entry anyway, to be fair. But yeah, so I've been stopped out. So here is the if I put the 15-minute range out from here to here, price hasn't hit that. Okay, so here's the trade recap. So there it is. Cool. So where do we start? Cool. So we had this massive push up after news, sweeping daily previous highs. There's so much buy-side liquidity, and then when we saw NAS, we swept Asia highs. Both NAS and ES made a 5-minute market structure shift. I put my fib out in the 50-minute range, but I did enter a bit early at its fair value gap. Stops above these highs, thinking that price is going to go down to at least equilibrium of the 1 hour range. It didn't. And then, yeah, that is that really. Another loss today. I need to go back to the drawing board and figure out where I'm going wrong, because I am taking a lot of losses recently where I never used to. On the hypothetical trades, I was barely taking any losses. So yeah, I definitely need to go back and look at my mistakes for sure. I did feel that price would be going down now, just based on all these market structure shifts. I know with these fair value gaps, we've got more down here, and equilibrium's not been met on the 1 hour yet, or the 4 hour. So I anticipated that price would have wanted to come down to at least equilibrium, into like a fair value gap that we got here, but we didn't get that. So is what it is. I mean, NAS is now respecting this fair value gap, but yeah, that's that really. I can't do much about it. I'm just taking quite a lot of losses recently, so clearly I'm doing something wrong. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and study where I've lost. We've entered this 5-minute order block here. Right here, let's look on the 1 minute. Yeah, so we've entered that 1 minute order block. Really, you'd be looking for a market structure shift before anything else. But yeah, that is that. To me, it's an A+ trade. We swept a lot of buy-side liquidity, went up to the upside. So that is that. We also caused on the 1 minute, I think, we did cause a bearish SMT divergence, which made me think was going to go down to the downside. Yeah, price has now hit this 5-minute order block, so we'll see how it reacts. But yeah, I'm not ending it here. I will be back to see on the result on the whole day, but I do think it's going to go down. And that'll probably happen in the PM session now. So yeah, that is that from me, and see you soon. Alright guys, cool. Let me just put my trade area to where it was at. Where was it? It was here. Yeah, that was it. Obviously I put my stop loss above this area here, but even if I got stopped out where I did. So let's quickly just have a look here. It's really annoying because, but yeah, it's my fault. Here's why. On the 5-minute retracement, I didn't even enter equilibrium with the range. I just entered on a 1 minute fair value gap, thinking it was going to go straight down. If I just waited and stayed, this is an A+ setup. It's just my execution. I'm too impatient. If I just waited for prices to retrace up, let's just say bare minimum even this fair value gap here would have been all good, but it just seems that my executions are too early. So what it is, because we can see here this one, like even here we could have found a good entry. Get rid of that. 5 minute fair value gap, I think, is it a 5 minute? No, well, 5 minute fair value gap, reject off of that. Could have possibly got like an entry maybe here, stop loss maybe above here, or I could even do that if I wanted, because now I can use micros or at equilibrium. That would have been pretty nice, all the way below. But yeah, I've made a mistake. Waited very patiently for the setup and entered late, and I paid for the mistakes. So yeah, that is that. I just put 4. I would have been safe. But yeah, it is what it is. But we're not getting a break below this 1 minute low, which is worrying. Obviously, it doesn't matter for me because I'm not in trade anymore. But we're consolidating. We can see could get a potential like total soup / AMD can set up here, sweep that high back down. That'd be pretty nice. But we pushed so high. We think price could at least trade to equilibrium with the 1 hour range, / 4 hour range. I mean, even the 2 minute, that looks good. Yeah, that looks amazing in the 2 minute. Let's see his equilibrium and then rejects. £100 there. Could target data lows. Look at that. 4R. That'd be nice. Yeah. Look at the accumulation here, man. Wow. But I'm not too annoyed because it's an A+ setup, and yeah, so wow, 5% down nearly. That's bad. Clearly I'm not ready. Yeah. I'm not losing hope. I know I'm gonna do well at this. I just need to keep on refining my strategy. But yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen here. But maybe we're gonna sweep these buy stops here and then push down. That'd be nice. But yeah, we'll be back to see what happens. Alright, I'm actually just going to end it here. Price is just moving really slowly now, and I just want to take a break now. I don't want to look at the charts anymore. Obviously, I'm a bit frustrated, but it's a whole part of the game, and these losses will just keep proving to me I've got holes in my game. I need to fix it. And I already know what I've done wrong today. I didn't, wait for the retracement. I didn't wait for the correct entry. As we can see here, equilibrium was perfectly aligned with the 5 minute breaker. I could have entered there, and that would have been a good entry. See that? Bang. Stops at the highs. That would have been good. Fine. We're not making a lot of movement, but, could have made a good trade out of it, really. I mean, look, now we're moving down. Accumulated, manipulated. Now it seems like we're distributing. But yeah, my intentions analysis of the market I thought was correct. It's just the executions that I get wrong. I got FOMO and yeah, that's the issue. So I'm gonna try and make next week a better week. And yeah, look how my price is now moving down. Wow. But yeah, see you next week.